there, I'm Lenny, and in this video I'm going to discuss Season 1, Episode 21 of the Twilight Zone titled Mirror Image. The original air date for this episode was February 26, 1960. What I'm going to do in this video is do a deep dive discussion of the episode. So if you have never seen this episode before and you don't want it spoiled for you, you do not want to watch this video at the time. Come back when you have seen it, because this is going to contain spoilers where I discuss what takes place in the episode. It's 2:05 a.m. on a dark, rainy night at a bus depot, and we meet Millicent Barnes, who is sitting on a bench within the depot waiting for a bus that is late. Millicent heads up to the baggage check-in area where there's an old ticket agent working behind the desk. And Millicent asks the agent what time does he think that the bus is going to be in. To this very simple question, the old ticket agent has a very sharp reply of, "She'll be in when she'll be in. I told you that the last time that you asked, miss." Millicent looks a little bit puzzled and she tells the ticket agent, "The last time that I asked was right now. This was the first time I've asked you that question, and I just wanted a civil response. No need to be so snappy." To this, the old man replies, "I'll give you a civil answer. The problem is, you keep coming up every 10 minutes and asking the same question over and over and over." While Millicent is up at the ticket counter, she looks and she sees a suitcase that looks exactly like hers behind the counter. And she looks back and she glances and she sees her suitcase, which looks like the one that's behind the counter, still next to the bench area where she was just sitting. Confused by this, Millicent goes and she sits back down. Sitting down briefly but then getting back up, Millicent then approaches the ticket counter yet again, and you can see the look on the old man's face of like, "Oh Christ, what is she going to ask me now? She's going to ask me about the bus." But Millicent inquires about the suitcase behind the counter, saying it looks exactly like the suitcase that she has. And the old man replies, "What are you talking about? That is your suitcase. You checked that suitcase in." Millicent goes to tell the man that this isn't her suitcase. Her suitcase is back by the bench. And when she looks at the bench, her suitcase is no longer there. As Millicent is still at the ticket counter, puzzled and perplexed by this, the old ticket agent, who seems like he has zero patience and always cranky, tells Millicent that she's either walking in her sleep, hungover, or something. Millicent decides to go use the ladies' restroom within the bus depot, and when she enters, the cleaning attendant that's in there asks Millicent if she's okay. And Millicent responds, "Of course I'm okay. Don't I look like I'm okay?" And the cleaning attendant responds to this, "Why, yes, you do. It's just the last time that you were in here, you looked like you weren't feeling well." Millicent looks at the cleaning attendant and basically gives the same response that she gave the old man at the counter. That being, "What are you talking about? This is the first time that I was in this restroom. I haven't been in here before." And Millicent goes to leave the ladies' room. As she pulls the bathroom door open, she sees within the mirror inside the bathroom a lady looking identically just like her, dressed from head to toe with the same gear and with the same suitcase, sitting at the bench that she was just sitting at, which faces towards the ladies' room. This freaks Millicent out and she closes the bathroom door very quickly. She keeps it closed for a good couple seconds, and when she whips the bathroom door open again, the young lady that she saw that looked exactly like her is nowhere to be found. Millicent decides to take a lap, check out the bus depot, and as she swings by the ticket counter, she realizes that the suitcase, that one that looks identically like hers with the broken handle, is no longer behind the counter. Millicent sits down at the bench and she's trying to figure out exactly what's going on, what's taking place, and this is where she comes to the conclusion, giving herself a medical exam of sorts, that she's having delusions, that she's sick, maybe has a fever even though she doesn't feel hot. A well-dressed man approaches Millicent, who's sitting on the bench, and he tells her that she dropped her purse while she was outside and he is returning it to her. He sits down on the bench next to Millicent, and this is where we meet Paul Grinstead, who inquires if Millicent is feeling okay. Is she alright? And she relays the story of events thus far to Paul, where he also comes to the conclusion that she is suffering from delusion. The late bus that is heading to New York finally arrives, and Paul is going to carry the suitcase for Millicent, and they are going to board the bus together. As Millicent gives the bus driver her ticket to get on the bus, as she is about to step in, she looks up and she sees herself already sitting on the bus at the window looking outside. And this freaks Millicent out. She runs, startled and frightened, back into the bus depot, with Paul following her, trying to figure out exactly what the hell just happened. The bus that's heading to New York leaves without them, and Paul stays behind to look after Millicent, who is laying down on the bench. This is where randomly Millicent recalls reading a story years ago about parallel universes, about other worlds next to other worlds. And within these worlds, there's people that look identical to the way that we look. Everyone has a twin. Everyone has a version of themselves within this world. And sometimes when the worlds come so close together that they converge, one of those identical twins is able to make it over to the next world. But once they do that, they have to take over the life of the person that is originally from that world, or they'll die. This is very convoluted and complex, but she recalls all of this, and she believes that that is what's happening to her right at this moment. That this other Millicent is trying to take over her life and get her out of the picture. Paul tells Millicent that he's going to head up to the ticket counter and use the phone and call a friend that has a car that could come and pick them up and take them to New York. Once he actually gets up to the ticket counter though, he does use the phone, but he uses the phone to call the police on Millicent because he believes that she is sick and she is going to harm herself. Shortly after, Paul gets Millicent off the bench under the guise of them going outside to get some air. And as they step outside to get air, a police car comes speeding up. Two officers jump out of the car. They grab Millicent and throw her in the back of the car without identifying themselves, without saying a single word, without proving or providing any form of ID, a badge, nothing. Two cops throw a lady in the back of the car, don't say a damn word, and speed off, and they take her to the hospital. Paul, who's basically alone at the bus depot by himself now, except for the old ticket agent, goes to the water fountain and gets a drink. And as he raises his head from the water fountain, he sees that his suitcase, which was just next to the bench, is gone, and somebody is running out the door. Paul chases this individual outside of the bus depot, and as he's running after them, the individual glances back, and it's Paul looking at Paul. It's an identical version of Paul running away from him. And as Paul's yelling for him to stop, hey, stop, stop, hey, this new Paul that we have just met, who's running ahead of the old Paul, looks back at him, smiles, and grins at him almost in a taunt, and then sprints forward and runs away like a sprinter running during the Summer Olympics, shouting into the night by himself, hey, hey, where are you? And as we see Paul looking frightened, bewildered, confused, scared into the night, that is how the episode of Mirror Image ends. Rating this episode of The Twilight Zone on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the absolute best score that it could get, I give Mirror Image a 7. If you think this video is worthy of a thumbs up, please feel free to do so. And if you enjoyed the video and you want to see others just like it, all you have to do is hit the YouTube logo, which is going to be down in the corner over here, and you'll get a notification anytime a new video is uploaded to the channel. Please feel free to check out my movie playlist, show playlist, and Twilight Zone playlist to check out other reviews. And as always, I want to say thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the opportunity to talk about these things that I'm passionate about. I greatly appreciate that. Please be safe, be careful, and I'll talk to you soon.